Boom! Welcome back to the Sebs Show, everybody. It's your boy Sebs and your co-host Gib. Today we're previewing UFC 227 Dillashaw versus Garbrandt 2.
What a
That's
card.
what a fucking. If you want to talk about like certain matchups, there's some fire matchups on this card. Obviously main event's probably the best fight of the card, but even like you got Renato Moicano versus Cub Swanson.
That could be a main event.
Yeah. Fuck, that's a hell of a fight. You got Pedro Munoz, Brett Johns, debut of Kevin Holland against Thiago Santos. Just really good fights, man. Could be a little stronger. I think last week's card was stronger. And it was a free card. So
Very true. Can't argue with that.
Yeah, didn't actually get good ratings last week either, which is surprising. I thought it was a really good card. Yeah, but let's get started. First fight is Marlon Chito Vera taking on Luigi Garbrandt. And let's start with Chito. Chito's losses like last 2 or 3. No, he beat Brian Keller, so he's lost his last 2 against John Lineker and Douglas Silva Andrade. Not much to say about Chito. Just fucking the guy gets the job done. He's always looking for the submissions. Pretty good striker. Knows how to use his distance well. Luigi Garbrandt, I think, is trash, man. He lost to Rolando Dye, who I think is absolute garbage. And, like, I don't know, man. I think Rolando Dye is pretty trash. But, yeah, fuck Rolando Dye.
Oh. Got an audio drop here. Hold on. All right, you're back.
Yeah, but I'm going with Chito Vera in this matchup. I don't see Luigi Garbrandt doing much. I see Chito maybe grabbing a sub here.
I like how Marlon Vera likes to switch stances a lot. He's very good with leg kicks. Can land one after another, fits his knees into the clinches, and likes the oblique kicks. In the Marlon Vera fight, we're spinning attacks. He uses a lot of spinning kicks and a lot of low switches. He had a few high kicks. I mean, Luigi Garbrandt, he's not very good at stopping kicks in the Dye fight. He's good at stopping takedowns. Thing is, he can pull off some pretty good bombs. He showed off in the Ademir fight. He does go for submission attempts. He likes to control more and push a frustrating pace while picking up his shots. I don't know, Luigi Garbrandt is pretty good from top position, and he can stumble into some strike in the striking department when he chooses to have his kind of guard low. But I don't know. He throws a lot of good 1-2s, a lot of double right hands. Likes to measure, and he's not very good with spontaneous movement. So it's an iffy fight, man. I don't know. Luigi Garbrandt could frustrate him.
Yeah, I'm not confident my pick at all.
I got Luigi Garbrandt in this fight, man. It's a weird one.
Yeah, I think he's trash. But Chito Vera is not like he's anything spectacular either. So next fight, Danielle Taylor taking on Willie Zhang. And let's start off with Danielle Taylor. Danielle Taylor likes to throw those air combinations that aren't touching anybody, but man, they're doing damage to the air. She has very low output. Doesn't like to strike as much. She has actually power in her hands when she does strike, but it's quickly nullified after she gets taken down or whatnot. She's she's not even that good of a grappler. I think she's all right against the cage and whatnot, but I think JJ Aldridge caused her a lot of problems, and I don't think highly of JJ Aldridge. For and then Weili Zhang, on the other hand, has power in her hands. She actually has a few knockouts on her record. She lost her first fight, her first pro fight, and then she's won 16 straight since then.
Yeah.
She's dangerous, man. She has nice trip takedowns.
Only
She's really
finishes.
Yeah, she's dangerous. She only has finishes, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
No decisions yet.
And I see her knocking out Danielle Taylor here. I think her striking is very good. I think her mount she's great on top, and she has probably one of the best armbar setups. If you see that, she has a nasty armbar setup from mount. I threw 5 units on her at minus 237, I believe. So that's to win. Let me check, guys. Minus 237 to win 2.10 units. So what do you think, Gib?
Weili Zhang, or Weili? I don't know how you pronounce it exactly.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Her kicking and boxing work really good. Kickboxing and boxing work real well together. Teeps, stopping girls in their tracks. And she's got some good spinning weapons and sweeps when she goes for takedowns. And she's pretty good off the scrambles. She's really good at landing the jab first. And when she does get to mount, she'll either start bringing the punches down, start throwing the ground and pound, or she'll go for the back and possibly set up a choke. She does have a few, she has went for a few and she does get them, but she mainly wins by knockout just because her standing is a lot to deal with. Danielle Taylor, I like picking the fighters who have experience in the UFC just because they've had to go up against maybe one fighter who's good at stand-up, maybe one fighter who's a bit more mixed. And I obviously think Danielle Taylor has fought that variety before. She's a little bit hit or miss. Her speed can be real high at times. She gets a few good hits in and backs away a little bit. She's always a smaller fighter, so she knows that she always has to work in every fight she's in. And this fight's no different. She's going to be on the outside a lot, but she's quick. She's real fast, and she can be hard to get a quick beat on real easily, especially in the first. And if she's a little more trigger happy, it could help her out because the JJ Aldridge fight didn't go very well for her, but she could grab a few kicks, and she was fast off of the scrambles, just not throughout the whole fight. And she got bothered a lot and froze up a bit. And she missed some big home run punches that I feel like if Zhang got hit by him, it could be interesting. So I don't know. I actually got Danielle Taylor in this fight just because she's had a little bit more experience in the UFC, and she's got to get back on the winning streak. But this is going to be another real tough fight for her, and I think tougher than the JJ Aldridge fight, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah.
Because now she can get finished.
Yeah. I think this is her toughest fight.
For sure.
I think next up is yes, it is. It's Jose Shorty Torres taking on Alex Perez. And Shorty's fucking the Justin Gaethje of the flyweight division, man, but he actually uses his wrestling. Something that's really good is that's what I like to see is he uses his wrestling. But man, he's action packed. His cardio is relentless. He marches forward and he'll march you down and throw combinations at you and just really work you over. I think he actually has some of the best pressure in the game. He's I think that last fight was he was obviously losing. I thought he got a little bit lucky in that last fight where Jared Brooks Jared Brooks
Oh.
Jared Brooks knocked himself out. And
yeah.
And then after he gets this fight with Alex Perez now, and I think Alex Perez is the kind of fighter that marches forward as well and doesn't fight very well off his back foot. I think that's going to give him a lot of trouble, and I think against Shorty Torres, he will be fighting off his back foot. I think Shorty will be the one marching him down. And I can see points based off just pressure alone, but I see the combinations landing. Perez got cracked a few times too against Eric Shelton, and then it was taken to the mats. But I don't know. I don't lean Jose Shorty Torres.
He got cracked a few times against Kevin Gray.
Yeah, he did.
But I mean, that's a contender fight, so they're really, headhunting. Hold on. Let me get this back. What did you finish saying?
I pretty much I got Jose Shorty Torres here plus 129, 3 units to win 3.87 units, and I'm very confident in that. Might add another unit on him.
Yeah, I like Jose Torres too. On his way to the UFC, provide himself as a super good submission artist. What's it called? He can could be outstruck by both reach and some unpredictability as well. Defended Jared Brooks well in their fight in the clinch. Actually, he was hit a lot off of surprise attacks, but after being put in survival mode, he made him very hungry, and when the opportunity presented itself, he pulled off a finish on a fighter who was landing on his feet and threatening the clinch. Torres was able to start wrestling in the second and started to land his knees while on the fence. I would not mind seeing a rematch with that Jared Brooks fight. It was good, and a very risky slam, which probably could have hurt Torres just as bad if he landed a different way. But Alex Perez, can't forget the highlight reel Darce choke against Kevin Gray though. He's been on a great win streak. Stays fast at all times, bouncing in and out, knowing when to stay out and time his next bounce. When to level change to defend against the grappling. Likes to get his little punches in on the inside, stalking and headhunting. Throws a big right hand. He misses every now and then. Misses it when he's in the clinch, but he does go for high knees every now and then that get reliable, and his jab's pretty brisk too. He fakes that with a high-low in the Thomas fight, and he got the Darce choke in that one too, or he set up for a Darce in that one, and his jiu-jitsu is really good, but I think I got Jose Torres in this fight too because Jared Brooks was on another level and really throwing some hail his way, and I think that he'd be able to weather the storm of Alex Perez since he was able to stand with Jared Brooks like that.
Yeah, I think so as well. Next up, we enter the prelims portion of the card here, and first up we got Matt Sales versus Shaman Marias, and Shaman's actually a really good Muay Thai fighter. Trains out of Team Noguera and Black House.
Yeah, saw that.
He's got decent hands too, man. He knocked out Robbie Peralta clean, and he's taking on Matt Sills here, who we saw against Yaza and Haji, and the Contender Series. And Matt Sills put on a performance. Clearly outstruck Yaz and Haji and just beat him up bad. It's a tough fight, man, because Matt Sales, I haven't seen a whole lot of film on him, but I've seen enough to see that like he can give anyone problems. And Shaman Moraes is obviously very dangerous as well. On the other hand, um, I see this fight going to decision, and I think Shaman takes it here.
You know what? If you need to check out another Matt Sales fight, I recommend the Bryson Hansen fight because he got dropped. Oh, okay. He gets dropped in that one. And man, he survives an onslaught into the second round, and he starts landing the stuff. He lands lots of threes. Lots of. I think he landed like 3 middle kicks or something. Weird stuff. Karate Kid like knees, man. I like that kind of stuff. So you can never doubt that unpredictability, especially someone so tough. Now he's got a lot.
He trains out of Alliance too. Just to say, there's a guy whose main training partner is like Darren Caldwell and all those guys. But yeah, go on.
And Shaman Moraes has fought nothing but the best as well. He had to fight Zabit and Marlon Moraes. They both trained together and both pretty much won by submission. So that's just how good their submission is in their camp. And he's he gets most knockouts. And he was actually landing some big kicks in Zabit's fight before he started to take advantage. Was able to take the back mount in the first round, attempting an armbar, which is one of his really nice submissions. Really good choice for that. So always watch. Matt Stills has to watch out for that. And he's got some deadly tie knees on and off the fence. Likes to hook to the body and kick when he pulls guard, switch stances, go for counter punches. He defends a takedown with a pretty fast underhook. But he might overuse the left hook a lot. But I mean, if it works, it works. I got Shaman Moraes in this fight because I think he's a better striker. But I don't know. Matt Sales is unpredictable. So, it could end in like one shot or like those multiple threes that he throws.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It's a tough fight to call. Next up, we got Ricardo Ramos taking on Kung Ho Kang, Mr. Perfect. Kung Ho Kang just fought Guido Canetti at UFC St. Louis, I'm pretty sure it was. And he looked all right in that matchup. He got clipped early in that match a couple times against Guido Canetti, but he ended up locking up a triangle and finishing him from there. He also beat Michinori Tanaka. He's gotten he got that what was it, the arm triangle, I think it was, against Shimizu, and then he lost against Jigo Thomas, and Serge was the no contest one. So pretty good record so far in the UFC. Yes. Brings a lot of offensive striking, good Muay Thai behind him. He has the capability of pushing the pace and breaking guys down with his striking. His grappling's really, really good. His wrestling is actually really well, and his jiu-jitsu's one of the slickest I've seen in a while. Ricardo Ramos, on the other hand, is very nasty, and he's training out of Team Alpha Male at the moment. His last fight was against Ayman Zahabi, where he landed the nasty spinning back elbow that finished Ayman Zahabi and just put him in outer space. Before that, he fought Michinori Tanaka, won that fight, and beat that Alfred kid on the regional scene in front of Dana White to get his contract here from looking for a fight. But it's a tough fight to call, man. I'm probably gonna go with Ricardo Ramos, though. I think he has the jiu-jitsu and whatnot to keep up with Kung Ho Kang on the ground, and I think he's the better striker overall. I'm going to Ricardo Ramos, but I'm passing. And I was looking deep into him into tape as well, but I'm passing from a betting perspective.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you think?
I like his Tanaka fight because he dropped him. Caught him early. And then I think he got him twice. He has really sharp punches, and he likes to walk slowly at like a nice brisk pace. He's not like really racing around, and he can counter when he's on his feet and they're planted. He lands a nice big right hand. He's great at grappling, and he threatens it a lot. The rear naked chokes is done in the past, and he always throws no more than what he needs to. So he's got a little extra striking in the tank just in case he gets into those pressure points where he has to all of a sudden release like a 3-4 punch combo, run away, throw another 2. He can be a little bit weak because of that, so he doesn't really blitz forward constantly. He's got that nice walking pace that does that and pressure. But once he gets on the ground and top pressure, oh man, he starts to look a lot better in fights, and he's pretty comfortable on the fence. Kang, on the other hand, man, he's really loose and flowy. He's got a lot of little movements with his footwork, and he does a lot of skip steps. Great at movement. And he alters a lot of high hands and low hands. He got clipped a few times by Guido Canetti, and Canetti has monster hands. He had pretty much knockouts before he got into the UFC and when he got there. It's just only recently that he started really getting the losses. But when he got the submission off the cage triangle, that was awesome. And it's crazy because if you look back at one of Lucas Ramos' older fights, he does lose once by submission in the first round. And, Kang's pretty dangerous with submissions, and he's a real big risk to that, especially in the first round. He gets a lot of first round submissions. So if he doesn't get tired, and if he can maybe do something sporadic, he can end him early, where that walking brisk pace might not be very good if someone sets up a submission or a takedown, right? So I actually got Kang for this one. I think I understand why maybe people aren't, or maybe you're not betting as much on it, but yeah.
Yeah, I can see it going either way, to be honest. I see Kang. That's why when I taped it, I saw Kang giving him some problems. So I wanted to stay away.
I definitely think the stand-up is Ricardo all day, though.
Kang's got some good stand-up, too. He's no slouch, but I think Ricardo's the better striker, yeah.
Yeah, he'd have you backing up a lot.
Next up, we got Ricky Simone to go on Montel Jackson. Another fight that I was super close to super close to betting Ricky Simone here. And Montel Jackson just showed me he's something else. He used to train at the Olympic Training Center at Michigan, so he's a really good wrestler. And he's got really good hands, crisp hands, huge for a bantamweight. He's like 5'10". He's got like 75.5-inch reach. He's really big for bantamweight. Ricky Simone, on the other hand, they're both good wrestlers, but I think that cancels out, and I think it's going to stay on the ground or on the feet mostly. I see Ricky Simone getting tagged a little bit here, and fucking Montel Jackson actually doing some work on him. I see because Merab actually, I think Merab won that fight, man. I think it's safe to say if you guys watched that Merab Dvalishvili fight, he won that fight. He wasn't out at the end of the bell. Like, I don't understand what the whole thing was. That was a little confusing, but I thought Merab won. And then you got Rick Simone, just like he has a really good chin and everything, but man, he gets hit quite a bit, and I think that's going to be a problem here against Montel Jackson. I can see Montel Jackson outpointing him, just doing more. But this is going to be a good fight, man. I got Montel Jackson to win, though.
Mm. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're back. Sweet. Yeah, man. Don't blink. I mean, Montel Jackson is so fast. Just he throws a lot of these big round 1-1-2s. He's pulled off a Japanese necktie. He's a good southpaw, man. He pressures people and he really bothers them with jabs and kicks. He's good at getting away from leg traps when he has his legs wrapped up. And he's got really good knee accuracy and then right into a sprawl and good. I saw a double rear teep, 2 back kicks. I've seen the highlight video. I mean, if you turn your back on him, it's probably one of the worst things because if he gets you in a corner, it completely throws people off. Starts throwing punches, starts going for the back, starts going for different submission attempts, and a lot of his fights are decisions and knockouts. But I think this guy's capable of way more submissions if he wanted to. I mean, Ricky Simon, not someone you want to engage with early, which is why this could be an interesting fight. Donovan Freelo tested this, and once this combo was over, Marcus started up the engines, and it got very rough and at a pace, and he had no choice but to get a hit. And I mean, Snoop Dogg called it. It was the night nurse punch, I think. He's got a lot of good. Yeah. He's got a lot of good dirty boxing punches, man. He's deadly on the fence. You don't want to be there. And he goes for power bombs. I think he can probably pull off CM Punk's finisher if he wanted to. If he gets someone up, I think people for a ride, man. So, he's got a good pressure stance, and he's good at switching for takedowns. So I kind of want to see something interesting in this fight. So I got Ricky Simon in this fight.
Yeah.
Ricky Simone, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Yeah, Ricky Simone.
Yeah, tough fight to call, but I can see it going either way again. Next up, we got Pedro the Young Punisher Munoz taking on Brett the Pikey Johns. Stand-up wise, man, this is a tough fight to call. Pedro Munoz always pressuring forward, always moving forward with leg kicks and some crisp boxing inside the pocket. Brett Johnson, on the other hand, likes to shell up a lot and take shots, and something that I see is a glaring hole in his game. And Pedro Munoz can lock up that guillotine from pretty much anywhere, man. From fucking standing, from the bottom, obviously, from wherever you guys are when you're shooting on the takedown. And I think that's where he might be able to catch Brett Johnson here. He might be able to submit him when he's going in for a takedown. I see the Pikey putting on some pressure on Pedro Munoz early, but I say Pedro doing some work off his back and keeping this fight on the standing up and just punishing Brett Johnson. I got Pedro Munoz here. Yeah, I got Pedro Munoz here. I didn't bet him or anything. I'm passing from a betting perspective.
Yeah.
But I do have Pedro Munoz here.
Yeah. Well, Brett Johns had some trouble with Aljamain Sterling a while ago in a real tough fight. He still has great boxing in that fight if you look at it. He was still contending with Aljamain Sterling. It's just Aljamain's real athletic, and when he comes down after a kick, he kind of fixes mistakes just at the speed he's going. He's really quick on the offense too, and Pikey didn't really get to hit him up against the fence, put him on the floor, because that's where he really shines. He's got good boxing, like I said, and when he gets people on the floor, he starts to throw slowly at first, but obviously with a lot of force. But then as the round goes on, he starts hitting more and more and more at a higher pace, a lot more punches, and that gets to people. And a lot of people, and the judges see that as dominance, especially on the ground. So he wins fights if you let him, if you work off your back like that too much. And, he was able to pull off that calf slicer really quickly on Joe Soto in like 30 seconds. That should not have been a 30-second fight. I know that, at least in terms of when you put those two people together. I don't think anyone saw it going that way. But Pedro Munoz, before fighting Dodson, was pretty much on a really good winning streak, almost so that you look for him for a title shot or something. So he's got to get back on his good foot, and he looked good in that fight too, because a lot of the punches that he was missing were bombs, big knees. He's really quick to block, and he's got good kicks when he sees that you're not doing anything for a while. During the first and second round, he's deadly. He's probably at his best. It's really the third round that we finally see that you do fizzle out, especially if someone stays as far back. But Brett Johns is going to go straight forward, so you don't have to worry about that. And because they're meeting head-to-head, I think Pedro is going to present a lot of problems. But if he gets put on the floor and gets hit with a lot of boxing by Brett Johns, I think Brett will be able to beat him just off of pressure and just being tougher. I think Pedro is more technical and he'll look a lot better. He's going to throw a lot nicer stuff. But if Brett's just super tough and walks forward, he'll probably beat him.
Yeah, I can see Brett getting some takedowns too, so I wouldn't doubt it. Next up we got. So wait, who do you have for that matchup?
Brett Johns.
Okay. Okay, so next up we're entering the main card. We got Thiago Santos, Mareta dos Santos. I call him Mareta dos Santos. De Lima Mareta. Taking on Kevin Holland here. Kevin Holland making his UFC debut. He was already on the Contender Series earlier this year against Will Santiago. Not a super impressive performance, but the guy actually has a lot of talent.
Oh, yeah.
If you go watch his old fights and whatnot, he's got a whole bunch of talent. I'm looking very forward to doing more tape study on him after the show. He's the last fight I have to do tape study on. But just from what I remember, he's got a whole bunch of talent, and this kid's no joke. He nasty submission on Tegan Dooley, fucking triangle choke, and he's beat guys like Jeff Neal. He's knocked them out already. UFC veterans. He's not the biggest 185er in terms of like size, but like he's pretty tall. He's got the height to go with it. And Thiago Santos, we saw him got knocked out by pillow fists. David Branch.
Pillow fists.
I'm not sure if he has pillow fists because he almost knocked out Luke Rockhold, so maybe that's a bad assumption. Yeah. But whatever. Fucking.
It didn't look like a punch that you would get knocked out from, but it just happened.
Yeah.
I must have looked at that one a few times, man.
This is a tough fight to call, man. I see Thiago Santos being a lot of trouble for Kevin Holland on the feet. But Kevin Holland may be able to crack him, man. Fuck. I'm going with Kevin Holland.
Really? So, yeah. What do you think about Kevin Holland's like shit talking? Do you think that's gonna be good for this fight, or
no? He's not gonna shit talk.
He shit talks in a lot of fights, man.
Yeah, but
like he pretty much did it on like that was how he fights on Contender Fight Series. That was all of it. And
so I'm gonna give you the Diaz, bro. Slapped him.
I mean, he does a lot of the standing side kicks, sick style, I have to say. He can use his grappling. I mean, that triangle was nasty. He's really creative, man. He's got a lot of movement, and like I said, he starts to talk in his fights, and I think that it could be a bad move, but it also might not be. He hustles a lot outside the movement, and getting to the right spot to fire his spin kicks, especially if you're backing up, or he's got a lot of finesse. And I think if he lands a lot of those sparky punches, he can get a decision too, and just like a dominant one, like landing lots of good jabs. He did get caught by a few hooks from Santiago in that fight, though. And Santiago looks like he can crack. So I'm wondering if, if he threw a few more, especially early, it would be a little bit different. Thiago Santos, I mean, he's fought the Anthony Lionheart-Smith fight is awesome. One of the best fights, just because it was pretty much back and forth. Anthony Lionheart-Smith just went ballistic and started throwing some punches, landed a knee, and then all of a sudden Thiago Santos kind of recovered from his weapon and landed an elbow. Oh man, he fires some ridiculous force in some of his single shots, and he's not an easy fighter to match up with and have a good pace from start to finish. Like, you're going to be starting and stopping your engines from start to finish if you're fighting Thiago Santos, because he's scary. And I think that's why David Branch had to, every time he went in, he had to make it count. He had to throw something big. So you better believe, and he even said at the end of that fight, "Yo, my leg hurt." He hurt me after those first few kicks. So I think Thiago Santos, all those punches and kicks, even if Kevin Holland starts going into later rounds, they're gonna hurt him, and they're gonna tax him in terms of pain. And I think Thiago Santos can get a big win here. But Kevin Holland has to do something big and end it in one shot, because Thiago Santos isn't someone you want to take round by round.
100%. 100%. All right, next up we got Polyana Viana taking on JJ Aldridge. Last time we saw Viana, she actually choked out Maya Stevenson. She looks good on the floor, man. She looks really good on the floor. Did she choke her out, or did she armbar her? I think she choked her out.
She gave her a lot of arm threats, yeah. Yeah, she choked her.
Yeah, she choked her out. Okay.
But it was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she's just pressure on the floor, man. I wonder what her rank is in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu if she's not a black belt. JJ Aldridge, on the other hand, got some alright combinations, some crisp punches, but other than that, not too much striking. She doesn't have a lot of kicks. She's not the best wrestler. So I see Polyana Viana giving her some trouble like that. This might be another fight I have to look into once again, just because Polyana Viana might be live here. Not live, but like a good pick. She's minus 200, I think, at this point. And JJ Aldridge, not sure exactly what she offers to Polyana on the ground here. I think Polyana takes her down and just does work on her. So I got Polyana Viana here to win by submission.
Yeah. I mean, I think in JJ's fight with Danielle Taylor, again, Danielle was still really fast for her, and JJ needed quite a bit of time to get used to that. So if Viana is really quick at the start and JJ doesn't take advantage and doesn't start landing, she could be in for it early and get submitted, especially because she's only really just now working on wrestling and her defense. I mean, she has good range jab, and she measures into a left kick that she throws over the top real high during the Danielle Taylor fight. I don't think she realized how small Danielle Taylor was. I think she just threw a big kick right over. No submissions yet, but she's pretty good at sweeping. She's pretty good at sweeping and trapping the one leg. But Polyana has a judo background. She can definitely defend against that. If anything, I think she'll put JJ Aldridge in more takedown trouble than she would. And she was throwing up a lot of other threats for that Maya Stevenson fight. A lot of arm threats, a lot of more chokes, and not shy of throwing strikes before changing positions, which can be very big, especially for someone who doesn't go to the ground much. When all of a sudden someone's striking and then changing to another position, wrapping your arm up, and then hitting you a few more times, it's just too much to handle, and it's going to get dangerous quick. And if JJ Aldrich doesn't get out or power out of it, and should you really power out of it, especially if you're on the ground with someone like that, I agree. I think Viana gets the submission over JJ Aldrich. But if it does stay standing, JJ Aldrich's just UFC experience might carry her through, and she might be able to work her wrestling into something. But I think overall Viana should take this and submit her.
Yeah.
Because she seems decent on the stand-up anyway.
Next up, Cub Swanson taking on Renato Moicano.
Jeez.
Moicano looking like a fucking animal in his last fight against Calvin Kattar. Very, very technical striker. Even against Brad Ortega, the fight he lost, looked very good in that fight until the submission. He's just a technical striker. He's sharp. He has crisp punches, nasty leg kicks that literally are gonna give Cub a lot of problems with the leg kicks, and he's got some nasty jiu-jitsu as well. But his stand-up is to be feared. Cub Swanson, on the other hand, lost his last 2 or 3. His last 2 he's lost. And he's looking not to lose his 3rd. But it's tough matchup against Renato Moicano here. He has I don't see Cub being able to implement a lot of his usual crazy strikes, dynamic strikes and whatnot. I see this being more of a fist fight that Renato is gonna brawl him into, and I see him actually clipping Cub and finishing him pretty quickly. So I got Renato Moicano in a 5-unit parlay with somebody later in the card.
Yeah, I think Cub is pretty dangerous. He can hit or miss. It's really interesting. I mean, obviously he's fighting the high levels. He's fighting a lot of the people who are in the top 5, the top 10 mark. So his moves are kind of seen. His cartwheel kicks, his spins. He's able to start coming back against Do-Ho Choi, especially taking punches isn't really a big deal. He's really good at rolling off shots and coming back with what he wants, making it flashy and also making it rough. Super good at explosion pace forward and throwing spinning stuff or moving backwards and doing it. Really vicious strikes. Good at kind of stopping and starting the action as well. He can set up nice feints, especially on the feet. I think one time he feinted a low leg kick and then went into a spinning backhand. I'd love to see that pulled off again. But you never know what Cub Swanson can do. He's always pulling off new stuff all the time. I'm sure at this point he's just spinning his body and hoping for the best. And that actually is one of the best strategies that you can have. Renato Moicano, you can feel a wind coming off of every left hook and kick he swings in. Very swatty punches, but if they hit the mark, you're going places. The wind's carrying you with that, and his aggression is what keeps people back and tends to fizzle them out throughout the fight. And he does stand a little bit tall, especially for Calvin Kattar, because Kattar was able to land a big overhand right, and he had that weapon throughout the fight actually. But as the fight went on, very fast at switching stances and changing up his game, but keeping with some of the same implements. Like, he doesn't take away any of his left or right kicks. He kind of kicks you from the aims for the body section. So he'll switch to throw the left kick and switch to throw the right kick if he feels like you're in that range. And he can even step on the bike and kind of backpedal for a little bit because he's real fast for someone with his size and leg speed. If he's got really wild hands and keeps his opponent off of him. He always has this kind of small range of space where he can stay back and kind of throw his kicks at leisure. But Cub Swanson, he's another one who's he'll give you a little bit of space, but generally he's coming forward and he is throwing punches. So I mean, Moicano's they're both deadly. I want Cub Swanson to win this one. I'm taking Cub.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Is that who you think's gonna win, or that's who you just want to win?
I mean, I think it's gonna be a good fight no matter what. And I mean, like, age aside, I still think Cub is pretty deadly, and just both of their styles, they can both end the fight at any time anyway. So I'm picking Cub regardless.
All right. Okay, next up is Demetrius Johnson taking on Henry Cejudo. And I can't believe you just picked Cub Swanson against Renato Moicano. Oh my gosh. Demetrius Johnson against Henry Cejudo. And in my opinion, Demetrius Johnson should be minus 1,000 here.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's only minus 500, so whatever. I took him in the 5-unit parlay with him and Renato Moicano. Boosted to minus 186. Let me see to win how much.
Put it all on Henry.
To win 2.69 units. All right, so pretty much the way I break down this fight is Cejudo likes to take his opponent down because in the striking exchanges, he's going to be non-dominant in here. He's not going to how he looked like against Wilson Reyes, even though that was nice how he looked against Wilson Reyes. That's not how he's going to look here. He's
going to Bruce Lee stuff, man.
The one time he fought Sergio Pettis was cracking him up top and giving him some problems, tagging him a few times until he got taken down and then worked like that. Demetrius Johnson, on the other hand, we saw him get taken on by Henry Cejudo and work right back up to his feet. Very, very active on the bottom. Demetrius Johnson is always looking to get back up, so I'm not worried about the takedowns. The stand-up game, Demetrius Johnson is as dynamic as they come. And I think he just picks apart Henry Cejudo here and just puts on a masterful performance to get his title back in a 5-round decision. If not, I think he gets a 4th-round sub here, but looking like a decision here. I'm going with Demetrius Johnson here. Yeah.
You know, it's getting difficult to find Demetrius Johnson any sort of competition. I mean, they tried making a show, an Ultimate Fighter, just based on finding him a good opponent. They've tried bringing people back. I mean, I always thought that they'd put Dominic Cruz up against him for a second time or something, or bring what's his name, or bring TJ Dillashaw down and actually have that fight. But because none of that's happening, Henry Cejudo does deserve the rematch. He's been doing okay. I understand, yeah, the Pettis fight wasn't that good. He definitely has trouble against fast opponents, and Pettis is in that fast level, especially Pettis actually.
How about Demetrius?
Demetrius Johnson is already above that. I mean, he's faster than Dodson, and Dodson can still decision people. If you can't catch him, you can't win the fight. So Demetrius Johnson, there's no way Henry Cejudo is catching him, just because Joseph Benavidez was difficult to touch, and so is Demetrius Johnson. So, I mean, come on. It's up there. And, I mean, I still think he deserves a rematch. The Wilson Reyes fight was awesome. He looked good. Awesome southpaw. Really, really good threat boxing. Good wrestling. High knees. Nice kicks landing for him. He caught a few punches coming in. And it's not that easy. It takes him a little bit after he gets hit, but then he starts putting the pressure on and he can overwhelm anybody. He feints with a left, with really quick right hand, and took out Reyes. But, Reyes isn't Demetrius Johnson. Demetrius Johnson's pretty much ruling this until they give him the super fight. I mean, if you want to bet the house on it, this would be a great fight. Maybe something happens and Demetrius Johnson slips on a banana peel, but I don't think that does happen. I think Demetrius Johnson wins just like any other fight, whether it's far away from them winning in a decision or going for his own made-up move that he created on the spot right then and there. And then that'll be in the next UFC video game, or hell, they'll put him in Street Fighter and give him a character altogether.
Yeah.
I hope they do that, actually.
That'd be sick.
I think they're close to, man. He's super into gaming, so they should do it.
Main event time, we got TJ Dillashaw taking on Cody No Love Garbrandt. And this is a tough fight to call until you just notice TJ has more. TJ just has a little bit more here, man. He's got the kicks to really use his distance here, and I think he's got. We already saw in the exchanges he has the power to capitalize on Cody. I think Cody's going to be a little bit afraid to be in those exchanges this time because of the knockout from last time. I think they're going to play more of a outside the range game, and Dillashaw, once he's there, I think he's going to start dictating the pace. Little weird stuff from Cody, like him not having sex for 3 months before the fight, and fucking not showing up to the workouts but not working out. That was weird. Same thing with Henry Cejudo. Cejudo didn't work out either. But yeah, I don't know, man. Something it's telling me TD Dillashaw's got this one, and I'm going with the man. I think he can implement his wrestling and use his takedowns maybe, and do his job. But I think this goes all 5 rounds, and I think TJ is going to win a decision here, unanimous decision. I think it's TJ Dillashaw. So I got 3.3 units.
Yeah.
On TJ Dillashaw at minus 109 to win 3.01 units.
I really like this rematch because the first fight was awesome. It had a lot to offer because Cody Garbrandt is obviously a fighter who can end anyone at any time. I mean, when you can hit somebody at the closing seconds at, 4 minutes and 59 seconds, you're always still in it. You're always still in the game. And man, he almost had TJ Dillashaw knocked out. But obviously into the second round, TJ Dillashaw goes and recovered real well. Has had a lot of good experience fighting high-level competitors before. Held the belt and kept it for quite a while before the Cruz fight, and even then still remained dominant just to get this fight again. He has a lot of weapons. He has grappling. He's got great wrestling, which Cody doesn't have any submissions. TJ Dillashaw has been able to bring his kicks to a whole new level, training with the new coach, and he's got a lot more weapons, and he's got super variety that he can use. Cody Garbrandt is just boxing, but if they start talking shit, if they start kind of going into the other person's game plan, it could end for TJ because Cody just blitzes forward. He only really has boxing to rely on. There's no way he's going to get you in a choke. There's no way he's going to set up a triangle, but he's going to throw bombs at you on the feet. And if you miss that kick too many times, because it did take TJ Dillashaw a while to land that kick, he was constantly going for it. And at any of those times when he misses that kick, Cody can run in and throw the punches. Now, at the same time, I think TJ Dillashaw has more weapons, more everything. He should win on paper, but I like rematches. I like trilogies, so I want Cody Garbrandt to win it. I want him to knock him out in the first round if possible, or just win the fight. But it's gonna be no easy task. I got Cody Garbrandt, man.
How? I
want to see a trilogy.
Okay, but like it doesn't matter what
And
you
also,
want. How
oh
does he win?
well, he's got to knock him out. That's the only way he's winning it, which makes it extremely difficult. But I'd rather him win just because. I mean, hey, if they have a third fight, it'd be better. You can sell the shit out of that. But I mean,
No. I think this is where it ends, my friend. This is where it ends.
on paper, he's got it, but
I guess we'll see.
yeah.
But okay, so that's it for 227. My plays again are 3 units Jose Shorty Torres at plus 129 to win 3.87 units, 3.3 units Dillashaw minus 109 to win 3.01 units. 5 units Willie Zhang minus 237 to win 2.10 units, and 5 units Demetrius Johnson / Renato Moicano minus 186 to win 2.69 units. So 4 plays altogether, looking maybe for one more, but not forcing anything. But yeah, hope everybody cashes. Let's get unless you're against me. Hope yeah. But let's cash these bets, guys. Let's get it.
All right.
Take care.
Have a good weekend.
God bless.